Sounds Like a Melody was not part of the original set of songs. Warner Brothers had said to me, what we want to do is we want to have Forever Young as a third single. So we want to have Big in Japan, another song, then Forever Young, and if we can do that, we've got a gold album.
After the first single became so successful, Big in Japan, the record company came up and said, "Oh, you guys, you seem really to know how to write hits, so can you write another hit?"
We asked the band to go back home to Munster and write new material for a second single, and that's what they did.
And we said, yeah, sure, we do it. So we said one night, we sat in our studio and wrote Sounds Like a Melody.
The record company and I went down there and listened to the first song that they played us. I think it was Sounds Like a Melody. It was an extraordinary song because it was almost instant. I mean, they didn't have any time to do this, really.
And I hated it. I hated it. I mean, it was really prostitutional in a way. It was like, it felt like, okay, yeah, somebody comes up and write a hit, and then it didn't feel right. It was like selling out. And so I hated this song for maybe 15 years. I hated this song very much.
I remember it in a slightly different way. Mm-hmm. We were already working on Sounds Like a Melody when we got the phone call, "Can you do another one?" And Colin was on the phone and saying, "Well, would be great if you do a new song in major." And we said, "Well, yeah, we're working on a song right now, but that's in minor." And he said, "It doesn't matter." It was not really on that they called us and we started. We were already doing that at that time. So maybe that's a relief for you. We were lucky again, just putting a few drum sounds together, a drum groove and a really good sounding bass that I'm absolutely happy with. I can play that. Very simple, great sound. Bass, drum, snare. Where's the snare? Drum plate. And that basically goes through the whole song. It's just 4 chords.
In the beginning, there are these funny electronic tom-toms. There was a new sound, a sample sound actually, of the PPG, and the first time that I ever played drums over the keys of a keyboard and not with the pads of a drum machine.
I think that this intro riff that Frank came up with is in a way simple, but it has such an impact and atmosphere and leads into the song.
What happened was I sketched out with Wolfgang Loos some ideas on the violin, which I thought might work for that end section. I'm not sure he took everything I played him, but I think one of the things that I played him as an idea, he latched onto. And my mind is sketchy about this. I don't know how much the band were involved in writing those little bits of pieces. I think was on that track we had the strings from the Deutsche Oper string section, which Wolfgang scored.
That Andreas Budde said, we need a long version for it, and can you write a string arrangement for this recording? Yes, I said, of course. Okay, and then write one down, and he was a big fan of Elton John. He said, some kind of this sound like Elton John had sometimes in his songs. Okay, and then I wrote a string arrangement.
The arrangement was great, and the string players are probably great when they are where they usually play, but in a pop music recording studio with a click in their headphones.
And they came into the studio, and some parts were pretty fast, 16th, and a lot of offbeats. And they were all classical musicians, and they had big problems to play and offbeat wise. So they always played on the downbeats. And I was conducting them, and I was working harder and harder and harder. On the third day, I had such muscle pain because of this heavy conducting, but it was the recording of these wonderful strings.
I was saying this is about MIDI. This is MIDI, and you're talking about 40 milliseconds, timing-wise. You can't get a string player to do that. I mean, I can't do it, and they couldn't do it either. So they were a little bit behind the beat, almost sometimes to a 16th.
We can listen to these strings, and you can easily hear that they are not 100% in time. Or at least a few of them are not in time, which doesn't make it better.
We couldn't get them to lie right on the beat, so we recorded it. And when they'd gone home, we moved it digitally about a 16th up so that it sat right on the beat. We had to do that.
We could work it out that it fits into the whole atmosphere of the song.
If you think about it, the lyrics are extraordinary. The ringing of your laughter, it sounds like a melody. To once forbidden places we go for a while. You got to remember that's a German guy writing English. In English that would be exceptional for an English writer, but a German guy doing it in English, that shows how talented he is.
It's a really great song. It's also one of those songs that doesn't have very much content, lyric-wise or something. It was just a vague idea about Hitchcock movies and Cary Grant and Grace Kelly. And it's like there's this pair of lovers in the cinema, and they're watching this movie, Über den Dächern von Nizza. And they're projecting themselves and suddenly they're in the movie. And it was a very vague idea, and the lyrics, they don't explain it very much, but that was the background about it, and it doesn't make very much sense. But it's a nice song.
The ringing of your laughter, it sounds like a melody. To unforbidden places we'll go for a while. The ringing of your laughter, it sounds like a melody.
So this is all Marian. One lead vocal, which is already quite high. But then we really wanted to let it shine. And Colin said, well, Marian, you have to sing this very high. But that was actually too much. And there is this very high voice, but as you can hear, the tape has been slowed down to make him able to really sing.
The ringing of your laughter, it sounds like. The ringing of your laughter, it sounds like a melody. To unforbidden places we'll go for a while. The ringing of your laughter, it sounds like a melody. To unforbidden places we'll go for.
I heard of this effect because of recordings of Earth, Wind and Fire. They had these famous Phoenix horns who played the brass section for the Earth, Wind and Fire band. And they used this method to lower the speed and the tonality of the tape recorder and play in a lower key on the tape. And when you speed it up, You have it more accurate, and you can reach regions which are not possible.
The ringing of your laughter, it sounds like a melody. To unforbidden places we'll go for a while. The ringing of your laughter, it sounds like a melody. To unforbidden places we'll go for the ringing of your...
That is the lead vocal, which is actually absolutely excellent, I think. But in the whole playback, it didn't sound that it was enough.
Marian was very open-minded to all experiments, especially with his vocals, and whatever you suggest to him, he would agree and try it out, and had a lot of power and energy to go all these ways and try to improve it.